In today's video, timing carbs around your workouts.
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and today I'm going to explain my philosophy around carbohydrates and working out. So the question came from my Instagram on the screen here, direct message. So if you have a question for me, go ahead and send it to me on my Instagram direct message. And if I feel like it's a good question that I can share with everybody, well, I'd love to make a video about it. And this question is certainly a good question because it's something that I answer all the time. Certainly a specific topic that I talk to about my clients that are interested in body composition, muscle building, and that is the idea of timing carbohydrates based around your training schedule. So a couple things to consider here. The two most important variables for me are going to be body composition and carbohydrate total, all right? So there is certainly a period of time where carbohydrates become ultra important around your training session. And I would say that's when you're really lean. So when I find my competitors are getting closer and closer to stage weight, that's when I really start to emphasize the need for pre-workout and carbs before you train, all right? Because we don't want the quality of our workouts to suffer, okay? Because there is a risk for muscle loss when workouts start to suffer, energy starts to suffer. However, if we're actually planning our carbohydrates around our workouts, and I'll give you some exact numbers here in just a second, if we're doing that, well, our workouts remain higher quality, our muscle sticks around better, and we continue to have a greater chance of success on stage or whatever our goals are. You know, everybody wants a lot of muscle and no body fat, right? So let's talk about percentages. So let's say someone is taking in around 200 grams of carbohydrates in a given day, and they're fairly lean. What would I suggest that their pre-workout carbs be? Now, assuming that they work out later in the day and they're not training at 4 in the morning, because if someone's training at 4 or 5 in the morning and they prefer to train fasted, I'm fine with that. You know, sometimes digestion at that time can be a little wonky, so your pre-workout meal might actually be before you go to bed. So for someone that's training, say in the middle of the day, they're taking in 200 grams of carbohydrates, I would put their carbohydrates at somewhere between 20 and 40% of their daily total in that pre-workout meal, depending on what they're capable of taking in. So that would put them somewhere between 40 and 80 grams of carbohydrates pre-workout. Now, I wouldn't want that to be too close to the workout. I would say at least 60 to 90 minutes before training. So you have a chance to digest them, so you have a chance to get them in your system and allow them to be used. You'll feel better, you'll feel fuller. When we get that lean, we might also want to focus on doing something like a sugar or a candy during our training. One thing I like to do when I get really lean, when I'm starting to suffer and I notice my workouts are suffering, is save a little bit of candy for my mid-workout. Now, you mentioned that you're taking in 250 grams of carbohydrates and you're bulking. So when this is the situation, and let's say you're eating 4 meals a day, well, that's a pretty large amount of carbohydrates to get throughout the day. So in this situation, I really wouldn't be too focused. If your body fat is not lean, if you're not shredded, if you're not below 12% body fat for men or 15 to 16% body fat for women, then I find you can basically space the carbohydrates. I find you can basically space the carbohydrates out pretty evenly. I don't really like to get into too much carbohydrates in a single sitting. I would try to limit it to like 50 to 60 grams. So if you're at 250, that's 60 to 65 grams of carbohydrates per meal. That's a really nice meal. Or you could have a smaller amount and plan some snacks in between, depending on what your schedule is like, how sedentary you are, how many times you eat per day. If you're eating 5 meals a day, obviously that'd be closer to the 50 mark, but you get the point. Spacing things out throughout the day. I myself find that I'm not very hungry in the morning, so I tend to keep my carbohydrates in the morning pretty low, whereas later in the day, they tend to ramp up. So it might also work for you to prioritize carbohydrates based around the time of day that you train and when you're hungrier, not just what time you're going to the gym, but if you find it more beneficial to eat. Now, when it comes to post-workout nutrition, a lot has been made of this, and for a very important reason. There is a lot of research that backs up the idea that post-workout nutrition can enhance recovery, muscle restoration, and muscle building. However, when your pre-workout meal is very good, meaning it has some carbohydrates, it has some proteins, it has some fats, your post-workout nutrition is not nearly as important as someone who is in a fasted state. Someone who is fasted really benefits from an immediate post-workout protein meal. For my athletes that are in contest prep, I do suggest that they keep their carbohydrates around this 20 to 40% mark post-workout as well, because this is a time when the body is going to really use all those carbohydrates for the right purposes. Your digestive system, everything is going to be pulling things into the muscles. And we want to really pay attention to body composition. But if you're in a bulking phase, post-workout nutrition might benefit you for a different reason, because you'll be hungrier. I know a lot of people that come to me in the off season tell me that they're no longer hungry. They don't have this desire to eat more food, even though I feel like we can benefit by adding some in. So the issue then becomes hunger. Well, guess what? After you work out, hunger signaling should be picked up a little bit so you can handle a larger meal at that time. So I definitely like to keep carbohydrates higher in the pre and post-workout meal when they become an issue, when carbohydrates become restricted a little bit. But in your situation, if you're over 200, 250 grams of carbohydrates in a given day, you're able to get 40 to 50 in all your meals. I feel that is a great way to approach it, okay? Hopefully this helps, guys. If you have any other questions, please be sure to let me know below, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.